Hey everybody, hope it's not too loud out here. So I want to do a quick discussion real quick of the final portfolio that you have to do. Um, if you were here at ECU and took English 1100, this shouldn't be anything new to you. This shouldn't be any of a surprise. There's a little bit of change in the process, but I think it's probably easier. So the revision is, what we're trying to get you to do is to re-see. So we say revision, break that word down, re again, and viz means to see. So we're trying to get you to see the work that you've done in a different way and to try to present it, probably more importantly, to present it to somebody, or it doesn't have to be necessarily to a new audience, but just present that information in a different way. We're trying to get you to think about how the work how you did your work, and then how by changing it up, it's going to require you to think about new audience, new genre, new purpose, new something. We want you to try something different with that work. So with this revision, what we're asking you to do is take one of your 4 major projects. I'm going to say probably the 4th one is going to be the easiest one to do, although that's not always the case. I mean, the 1st or the 2nd one might be easy to do too. I think I have some examples on below here that should give you maybe some ideas about how you might think about the different projects, how you might be able to rework them. But what we want you to do is to take one of those major papers, the first 4 major papers, to take it and do something new or different with it. And so that might be a new audience, it might be a new genre, you might flip the time, so it might be past tense. You wrote in the past tense, you might want to write it in future tense. You might want to write this to, a new audience of people that are who haven't experienced this information before. You might want to write it to a future group of people, or maybe folks in the past. You can say, hey, this thing is going to, my historical artifact, this thing, whatever you had, it's going to be a huge impact on you. And in the future, you could, be like some kind of, somebody coming from the future telling people in the past, what this big change is going to be, to freak them out a little bit. That might be fun. Anyway, so we're trying to get you to rework this in a different way, right? Rework this paper. No big deal. All right. So that's the first part. So the 3 parts. You're going to do this revision, and then there is a letter that you're going to have to write. And I want you to write it in a business letter format. So that means there is, a specific way that we write letters. It's not just, it's not an Instagram post. It's not a text message to your friend. There's a way that you do business letters to make them professional looking. If you don't know how to do that, I would suggest that you go online and try to look it up and see how to write a professional letter. I would do that. So that's the second part of what we want you to do. And then the third part is to provide with your 3-part portfolio, this packet. I want you to provide the assignment sheet that I gave you, and I'll have those all available in the Unit 5 area here shortly with in PDF format, so you can just download those. You don't have to recreate those. So those are the 3 parts of your portfolio that you need to turn in. So again, that's your revised work. It is the self-analytical letter. It's going to be 4 questions that you're going to answer. You can add more to it if you want, and then the assignment sheet that I gave you for the paper that you did, the paper that you rewrote. Okay, so what this isn't, okay, and I've had tons of people do this to me, is you're not just going to turn your paper back in without any changes. I graded them all. I know what they all look like. I know what they all sound like. I know what they all feel like. If you don't change it, you're not going to like your grade. Okay? Listen to me. If you do not do anything, if you just resubmit the same paper, you are not going to like your grade. It's just the way it is. I can't say that enough. The part of this in lieu of a final exam in this class, you have to revise this work in some way. It's not hard at all to revise your work, to pick a new audience, just to kind of put the information that you've already researched and written about, just put it in a new container and give it a new audience, or that's usually the easiest way to do it. But if you don't do any kind of revision work, it's not going to be the grade that you want. Okay. So the other thing that's going to be different for this week that we haven't done before, just because I really value doing peer work, is that we're going to do some of that for this project. And so because it shouldn't take a whole lot of work for you to revise this paper or to come up with a new audience or something. New genre, however you want to do it, is we're going to do some peer work, and so that's going to require you to upload whatever the draft is, wherever you have it. It doesn't really matter how far done it is. We just want to get some feedback on it by June 15th. So that's a Tuesday night. So I want you to have that uploaded, and then by 12:01 on that Wednesday morning, you're going to if you've uploaded something by 11:59 on Tuesday night, by 12:01 on Wednesday morning, you're going to get assigned another paper. You have 2 days to give feedback. If you look in Canvas, if you open it up there at the top of the paper where there's like a viewing window, there should be tons of like little tools you can highlight and draw and make boxes and all kinds of stuff if you see the feedback on the papers that I gave you. And then there's a text box on the side. So it doesn't really matter. I just want you to I want you to review this work. There's some I think I have some comments, some ideas there about peer work that's available in the Unit 5 section. And I'm sure most of you all have done peer work before, but I want you to do that, provide some feedback to your partner for the paper that you are assigned, and just get that back to them by June 17th. Just adds another set of eyes, and that's part of the process that we want to see you guys go through here in this course, is to provide that feedback to somebody else so you can do that revision work. All right, so the other thing that I do want to stress is this portfolium. All right, so if you were here in the past, there was a different kind of website that the school used to collect everybody's final portfolio work. They've changed that in the past year. If you took English 1100 last year, you probably are familiar with Portfolium. If you took it a couple years ago, then it's not going to be as familiar to you, but my understanding is that it's a little easier to navigate. So I have to go through and do all kinds of button pushing and slide this thing over here within Canvas and Portfolium. And then what that should do is make the assignment that you see in Canvas is the one that you need to follow to go to Portfolium. I do not want you to go and set up an account. I don't want you to go and set up a Portfolium account and go outside of Canvas to do that. If you do that, I mean, you can have a Portfolium account, I don't really care, but if you go and do that and you upload it in there straight through Portfolium instead of through Canvas, I'm not going to see it because of the way that the system is set up. It won't show as though you've turned the work in. So I'll say this again. When you go through to turn in these 3 documents, your revision, your self-analytical letter, and the assignment sheet, I need you to go through Canvas and click on the assignment for the final portfolio through Canvas. Don't go through Portfolium. Canvas will take you to Portfolium, okay? It's not that hard. And then from there, it should be pretty self-explanatory how to upload. You guys are all, internet or digital natives, so you shouldn't be too hard to figure it out. All right, so that's the biggest thing. The biggest thing that I want you to remember is that I need you to actually do the work, do the revision, and turn in a new paper, okay? I've had far too many people decide that they were just going to turn in the paper that they already wrote with absolutely nothing changed to it, and it's pretty frustrating because you're not given a final exam. If you were to come in and just not take your final exam, you probably wouldn't do too well on that. So I need you to do the work here. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, I'm going to continue to do office hours, or you can get a hold of me directly if you have questions about how to turn in or what the assignment is here. If you need some help, if you don't understand what the revision is, I'd be glad to help you. You know where I am. And that's about it. Thanks.